good, you guys? I am Cece, aka Cecilia Robinson. For those of you who are new to the channel, I thank you guys. For those of you who have been around, I thank you even more. You know what I'm saying? I feel good bringing you guys my life like this. This is part 2 of how I got indicted. But first, before we start, I need you guys to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell. Please share the videos. Please, I'm asking you, please share the videos. And before we get started, once again, I talked to Fat Boy. Fat Boy said, just let y'all know, he did not sleep with that girl. He said he did not sleep with the girl. She slept with the guys. He said no matter what she say, he did not sleep with her. So I just want to clear that part up, because you know I was on his heels like, yo, you messed with that girl. You messed with that girl. Long story short, I'm about to get into this part 2. So when I'm leaving up at the hotel, parking lot, the police is pulling in. I'm talking about they speeding in, haul ass, and I'm on the phone with Fat Boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling him, I'm like, I don't know if this car was seen leaving the parking lot, the Home Depot parking lot. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So he tell me, he like, yo, he was like, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Now, originally I was on my way to Chicago, you know, but when that happened, all plans was diverted. I decided I'm going back to Philly. So as I'm driving, as soon as I get on the road, I get a text message to my phone. So the text message is like, hey, where you at? Like, hey, where are you? Not, hey, where you at? Because that's how I talk. It's like, hey, where are you? And it's from the girl. It's from old girl. So I'm like, what you mean where I'm at? I said, I'm parked where you left me at. She like, I don't see you. You know? So I was like, I don't see you either. So she was like, the text message supposed to read, it's cold outside. Come and get me. But it said, it's cops outside. Come and get me. This is what the message read. I was like, I'm finna pull up. I told her just like that. I said, I'm finna pull up. I'm pulling around right now. I wish the fuck I would have pulled around right then and there. But I was already gone. I'm gone. I wouldn't give a damn what's going on. You know? So when I start getting those text messages to my phone automatically, I'm like, yo, I got to get rid of this line. So I called my folks in Chicago. I had Boost Mobile as my service. My folks owned a Boost Mobile store. So I called my folks in Chicago like, yo, I need you to change my phone number right now. He was like, right now? I said, change my shit right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, some shit just happened. I need my number changed right now. I couldn't stop and get a phone. I wasn't finna stop and get a phone. I've never drove straight in my life. I always want to stop and all this. I drove straight. Hands 2 and 10. I promise you, 2 and 10. I'm not looking over to the side. I glanced at the rearview mirror, but I'm talking about I've never drove this straight in my life. So he changed my phone number right then and there. Have it go, you know, I call Fat Boy and I give Fat Boy my number. I give him my number on that phone. I get a call to my other phone, and it's me and Fat Boy mutual friend, the one who told me, you know, just go ahead and do this solid, do this favor. Have he ever steered me wrong? He was like, hey, you okay out there? So I'm like, nah. I'm like, that's just fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I'm nervous. I'm talking about, once again, my pussy is in my coochie. My heart is in my coochie. It's in my coochie. It's like, yo, this just got real, and I've never been in this situation before. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna get stopped by a state trooper. I don't know none of this stuff. I don't know. So he like, the next question out his mouth, mind you, I'm running from a situation. The next question out of his mouth is, what kind of car you in? What kind of car I'm in? And when you're in a situation like that, when them people is on your ass, or you think them people is on your ass, any question about where you going, or what you in, or what you wearing, some shit like that, is a no-no. So I'm like, what the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? I get an attitude, another attitude. What the fuck you mean? What kind of car I'm in? I'm like, what kind of question is that? He like, that's how you gonna talk to me? Hell yeah. What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to set me up? And he was like, nah. He was like, you tripping. Nah, the fuck you tripping. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for your raggedy ass, I wouldn't have been on this trip. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been on the trip. Fuck Fat Boy. If it wasn't for my folks, because I argue with Fat Boy all day, but I never would have argued with my folks like that. We argue, but it's not like that, because he is not on one of those type of levels. We argue about simple shit. You know what I'm saying? But you told me to go against what I thought. And you know what I'm saying? And have I ever steered you wrong to get me to go some fucking well. And I lied to myself. I lied to myself about the way I felt. You know? So I hang up the phone. I throw that phone out the window. I have nothing more. Now check this out. I drive from Pittsburgh back to Philly. So when I get to Philly, I pull up to the Philadelphia, the airport hotels where they had their hotels at. I go and check in the aloft on the alias. So I call my driver. Now I have a driver. I never really drive myself anywhere. I have a driver. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I'm supposed to do is sit back and get money. If I don't have to drive, I won't drive. Period. My driver make $1,000 a day just driving. That's the only thing he do. Drive me wherever I need to go. No matter what state I'm in. He catching a flight so he can drive. That was his job. So I call my driver to come and pick up the car. You know what I'm saying? I done parked the car in a hotel parking lot. Not the hotel parking lot, but in the airport cell phone parking lot in Philly. Tell him go up there. Tell him where it's at. Tell his ass to go up there and get it. Now here's the thing. When you have cards and IDs, when you doing any type of crime, the crime I was doing, and you on the road, you take the cards and shit, but I'm being so small and flat and stuff, and you stick them inside the doors and stuff. That way, if you just get pulled over, you don't have this shit on you. It's contraband. I'm using the prison word. It's contraband. You know what I'm saying? You don't have this on you. This is a whole case. These are cases. There are multiple cases. You know what I'm saying? Each ID and each card is a multiple case. It really is. It's a multiple case. So my driver was supposed to come pick up the car, the SUV, and he was supposed to take it and strip the car down. When I say strip the car down, I mean snatch the doors off, pull the roof down, and get whatever contraband is in there. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to take that shit and get rid of it. Destroy it. This motherfucker comes pick up the car. He come and pick up the car and then just go park it. Excuse me. He just go park the shit on some random street. On some random street. You know what I'm saying? How fucking stupid. Well, she did a lot of stupid shit, but how stupid? Okay, I didn't know this. So when I asked him, did he strip the shit down? Tell him, yeah. So for a couple of days, I didn't want to say nothing to nobody. So on that third day, you know what I'm saying? Fat boy called me like, yo, did you talk to a girl? Why the fuck would I be talking to her? You know what I'm saying? You got to get a phone so she can call. Now it's been 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I have to get a lawyer. I have to get a lawyer for her. I had to get a lawyer for her, and he want me to get a phone so she can call. I say, I get a phone, but I'm not talking to this bitch. I say, I get a phone to give it to you. Now, imagine you, her going to jail, the cost for her lawyer, bond, everything is on me because she was with me, and I did not follow proper procedure of this whole thing. I supposed to have been on the phone with her on her ass. Instead, I had an attitude. It just is what it is. I had an attitude because I didn't want to be there with the bitch, and so I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? That was my fault. That really was my fault. And I argue with Fat Boys about it to this day, but that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? I could put that part off on him, but it's not. It's really my fault because I'm supposed to be on the phone with her. So, all right, cool. I go call and get her a lawyer. The retainer for the lawyer is $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I buy the phone. I get the lawyer. He said he gonna show up in court for her. When I get Fat Boy the phone, he called up there to the counselor. She was in ACJ, Allegheny County Jail. He called up there to the counselor and give old girl the number to give to her so he can call, so she can call him. You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out. The lawyers show up in court for her. You know what I'm saying? They get her a bond. She don't want to bond out. So when she do call Fat Boy, and Fat Boy like, yo, I'm trying to pay your bond. You know what I'm saying? What's up? She said, no, let me stay here just in case they give me some time. Now, what had been discovered yet, I'm going to say this again, what hadn't been discovered yet is this bitch was out on parole for robbing pawn shops in Vegas. Excuse me, with her and her friends. That hadn't been discovered yet. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that hadn't been discovered is, we'll get to that. So, Fat Boy is carrying on a normal conversation, a normal relationship with this bitch, and he talking, he asking her about money. I mean, he having a real conversation with her. To people who don't know about jail calls, those phones are recorded. Any phone call you make outgoing from a jail, the phone calls are recorded. So they are recording their phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Stacking up evidence, stacking up fucking evidence, stacking up evidence. All right. Boom. So after she go to court, but of course I didn't want to talk to the lawyer. So Fat Boy like, man, call a lawyer and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on, since she didn't want to bond out. So I call him. I say, hey, this is Cecilia Robinson. I was calling about the case who after bail. This motherfucker tell me I can no longer talk to you or discuss the case with you for the simple fact you are a co-defendant. How the fuck am I a co-defendant? I wasn't locked up. So I get off the phone, I fire him. You know what I'm saying? I fire him and I have to go find another lawyer. That's another $10,000. You know what I'm saying? But I get on the phone and I tell Fat Boy, I said, this bitch telling. She telling. Fat Boy, she not telling. She ain't talking. I said, the lawyer just called me a fucking co-defendant. You know what I'm saying? He just called me a co-defendant. Man, she not telling. I'm telling you, the bitch ain't telling. How do you know this? He keep in contact with her. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. 6 months motherfucking later. 6 months later. I'm on some fat shit. I like to eat. Chicken is my favorite thing. It just is what it is. I'm in Philly, riding down the nice little streets and shit, stop at Popeye's Chicken, give me some chicken, and I pull up. I pull up on the side street on Venego up in North Philly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there and I'm eating my chicken. You know what I'm saying? I'm on some lazy shit, some fat shit. I ain't got shit to do. I'm just riding around chilling. So down the street, like straight down this fucking street, I see a SWAT van. And I see motherfuckers jumping out. And I see them niggas, I see them running, I see them kicking his door. I see him running the crib. And I'm like, damn, eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, what they got going on around here? So like down the block, you know what I'm saying? Like a block down. The same shit is going on. Never in a million fucking years did I think these motherfuckers was looking for me. It didn't click in my head. It did not click in my head. It didn't make sense to me. None of that. Now, I leave Philly. Once again, I'm just living my regular old life, hustling. I leave Philly. I'm gone for a month. You know what I'm saying? I go to Memphis. I'm gone for a whole month in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I got to do. My kids is at home in Philly. Going about their daily routine, this, that, and the third. So on the 30th day, I leave Memphis. I'm on my way back. We drive from Memphis back to Philly. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. Because I done been on the road for 30 days doing whatever I do. I get home, soon as I settle down in the bed, the kids is gone, they gone. I get back early as shit. The kids gone to school. Soon as I get comfortable in the bed, my phone ring. It's Fat Boy. So I'm like, hello? So he was like, hey, why don't you run up to Boston real quick? I just got back. He like, go up to Boston real quick for me. Go up to Boston. So I'm like, gee, I just got home. I ain't seen my kids in a month. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen my kids. None of this. He was like, man, just go up to Boston. He was like, stay out there for a day and come back. He was like, shit dope in Boston. So I say, man, fuck it. Now, normally I argue. I told you this. I like to argue. Normally I argue. I didn't even argue with him. What I did is I went to go get my kids an early dismissal from school. I took them, bought them some shoes. We went to go eat, went to the movies and everything. I had already called my driver and say, yo, this the plan. We're going up to Boston. You know what I'm saying? We're going to drive up there. We're going to come back tomorrow night. We're going to go up there and see what it's heading for. We're going to come back tomorrow night. I had no fight in me. I was too fucking tired. I had no fight in me. So my daughter, I remember my daughter telling me, like, Mom, you just got home. We ain't seen you. And I tell my daughter, like, yo, in order for y'all to live the lifestyle that y'all live, I have to do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? This is how we eat. This is how I take care of y'all. This is my job. And this is what I tell my daughter. Now, I never take clothes on the road. I never take clothes and shit on the road or money for the simple fact I like to shop while I'm on the road. That's what I do. I shop in the malls. I go in the banks during the day and I shop in the malls during the night. So I'm as I'm talking to my daughter, unbeknownst to me, like unconsciously, I'm packing a bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm packing a bag. I packed like 4 outfits, 4 pair of shoes, and I throw $4,000 on the counter. I tell my daughter, I say, tomorrow take your sisters to the Africans, get their hair braided. It was time for their hair to get braided. Take your sisters to the Africans, get your hair braided. I said, take y'all friends out to eat. I said, I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I throw $4,000 on the counter. No lie. There's $1,000 for each one of them. So they can do whatever they need to do while they was out there. And my driver pull up. You know what I'm saying? And it was an issue with the cars. I wanted to switch cars. But I ended up getting into one of my cars. We got out of his cars and I got into one of the cars I had. You know what I'm saying? And which is, I still can't figure out why I did this shit to this day. I'm talking about everything was just off a little bit, you know? So we go up to Boston and all this other shit. And I buzz Boston down. I'm talking about do my shit. So when I got done, we were supposed to, me and my driver was supposed to leave and go back to Philly, but I was tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay another day. So when I talked to Fat Boy, he was like, man, yeah, go ahead and stay another day. He said, my people coming up there. He said, I need you to grab them from the airport. You know what I'm saying? Hook them up with a car, from the airport. And he said, man, you shouldn't just come on back. You know what I'm saying? I said, all right. Once again, I don't got no fight in me. I ain't tripping that he running my ass around like I really work for him. I ain't tripping about none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So I go to sleep. I told to my children, I go to sleep. 4:30 a.m. Fat Boy calls my phone. He said, yeah, he said his people will be there. They land at like 6. He asked me to pick him up and I'm taking him directly to the the airport so we can, grab a car. And he said, leave the car you're in. He said, leave that car at the airport. He said, we'll get you another car when you come back this way. You know what I'm saying? This was a throwaway car. However it goes, 6 o'clock, I'm there in the parking lot, me and my driver, and his people come out just to show his shit stink. I go up in there, get a new car. So it's 3 cars. So go up in there, we do our shit. So after we get the rental cars, I leave that car we was initially in the parking lot. But at this point, it's like 7:30, almost 8 o'clock. She wants to see if she could go into a bank, like a bank branch. She wants to test out the work before we parted ways. Just in case, you know what I'm saying, she need to grab something from us. Long story short, I call Fat Boy when we get to the first bank. You know what I'm saying? When we get to the first bank, he's not answering the phone. My driver called Fat Boy, he's not answering the phone. A girl called Fat Boy, he's not answering the phone. One of my phones ring, and it's another friend of ours named Peebo. May you rest in peace. So me and Peebo, we don't get along like that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't answer. So he called me again. I didn't answer. So he called me again. I didn't answer. So he called me again. Yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Me and him do not get along. We don't get along. What's up? So he say, Cece, where's your kids at? So I look at the time. It's like 8:30 at this point. I'm like, shit, they in school. I'm like, what you need to get in my house? I had a credit card machine at my house. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking maybe he need to get into the house to, maybe he need to get into the house to use the machine because he can't get in the hub. Like, this is common, like, normal shit is running through my head. Not nothing extreme. He say, Cece, he say, find your kids. So I'm like, now when somebody call you and ask you to find your fucking kids, automatically that blows you. It's like, the fuck you mean, find my kids? So I'm calling my kids' phones. My kids is not answering the phone. My children are not answering the phone. Then I'm like, bitch, call a school. You know what I'm saying? I call the schools. All my children are in attendance at school. So I call him back. I'm like, my kids at school. Why, what's up? He said they got Fat Boy. Who got Fat Boy? He say they ran up in his spot and they got him. He said the feds, the police, they got him. Once again, my heart made its way to my coochie. I could not believe it. And he say, they're looking for you. I'm like, who? Who looking for me? He said, the police looking for you. Cece, you cannot go to your kids. He said, your kids need to meet you in New York. He said, if you go back to Philly trying to go to your kids, he said, that's how they gonna get you. He said, okay, none of us had no contact with you. He said, because the people want you. I'm talking about everything in me like ran on the ground. Everything in me ran on the fucking ground. Everything in me ran on the ground. I could not believe it. So I'm like, okay. He said, Cece, he was like, you need to dump these fucking phones. He said, everybody's phones have been tapped. He said, I'm telling you, everybody's phones have been tapped. He said, I'm finna throw these shits away right now. He said, y'all need to get new phones. You know what I'm saying? He hang up. He ain't say goodbye, nothing. He hang the fuck up. So I look over at my driver. I didn't even realize that he was on the phone. And the look on his face was like he saw a ghost. I look back at old girl. She's on the fucking phone. She's pale. I'm talking about this bitch is pale. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is him and her hang up the phone at the same time without saying a word. And mind you, we ain't even separated the car. We ain't even separated the cars yet. You know what I'm saying? So he just pull off. He pulled directly off and started heading for a Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So he Googling and shit, looking for a Walmart. He pull up into a Walmart parking lot. And we went up in Walmart, and we up in Walmart breaking phones, brand new phones and breaking phones. These people looking at us like we fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? We get that shit, and everybody saying like, yo, he telling me like, man, Cece, they looking for you. And she like, man, I ain't got shit to do with this war after bed and all this. It's like now, you know, everybody looking at me. It's like I'm diseased or some shit. I'm blue. You know what I'm saying? He like, well, I don't want you in a car with me. And she, well, I'm happy we got another car, all this other shit. It's not a problem. I got to get back in that other car, the initial car we was in. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to the parking lot and he stay in that car. You know, he give me a hug first. You know, he give me a hug. He stay in that car. She get in the other car that we had went in there and got, that I had went up in there and got. And me, I get in the old car. The old car I had. You know what I'm saying? So I call my daughter. No, I sent her a text. I sent her a text like, yo, this is your mom. You need to call me when you get out of class. You know what I'm saying? Then I call up. That wasn't satisfying me enough. I call up to the school and tell them to pull my daughter out of class. You know what I'm saying? I need to speak with her. So they go pull her out of class, and she come down. She get on the phone. I'm like, nah, listen. I was like, when you get out of school, you need to call me immediately. I was like, I can't come to y'all. I said some shit that happened. I said, they got Fat Boy. I said, I'm going to need you to get your sisters, and I'm going to need you to come to New York. You know what I'm saying? This girl is a kid. She like 14, 15 years old. You know? So she was like, I knew something was wrong. I'm like, what you mean? She said, when I got up last night to use the bathroom, I got like these big ass picture windows in my kitchen. I lived in a loft. She say, and we from Chicago, so we know motherfucking police when we see them, whether they marked, unmarked, none of all of that shit. We know them. She said when she got up to use the bathroom, she said she went in the kitchen to get her something to drink. She said it was a black truck with blacked out windows parked in the parking lot, but you could see the computer. They had the computer up. You know what I'm saying? So all the time they was casing the fucking house. She say, and then she said when they got ready to walk to school, now she had to drop her siblings off at school first before she got to school. She said the fucking police was following them. The police was following them. I said, okay, cool. I said, I got to get somebody. I say, y'all come to New York. I said, I'm in Boston. I'm 2 hours away from New York. Y'all in Philly. Y'all a couple hours away from New York. I said, we meet up in the center. When she got out of school, she got her siblings. You know what I'm saying? Have it go. When I told them to get on a bus to come to New York, the bus driver wouldn't allow them to get on the bus without an adult present because the bus driver thought they were running away. You know what I'm saying? So I tell Nana, I say, listen, I say, just go back to the house. I said, go back to the house and pack up whatever y'all can. I said, you stay there and wait for me. At this point in time, I didn't even know they had already kicked in my fucking door right in my house. You know what I'm saying? So they just left a sticker there. Left a sticker. So my kids went up in there and gathered whatever they could, and they had to stay there and wait on instructions. You know what I'm saying? Now, I had to call Chicago. I had to call one of my people in Chicago and tell them, yo, I had to tell him everything that was happening. He was keeping my money. I need you to pull that money up out the bank, and I need you to come get my fucking kids because I cannot get my kids. You know what I'm saying? He stopped everything he was doing, and that motherfucker got on a plane. We came up with a plane. We came up with a plane. He got on a plane and took his ass to Jersey. Now when he got to Jersey, he notified me. I was still in Boston. He said, come to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Come to Philly, meet me at the airport in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So I drove. Oh, I'm talking about ass cheeks clenched. Oh, I did not want to drive. I didn't know if they had this car or not. I didn't know if they had the license plate or whatever. I'm a wanted chick at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I made it to the airport in Philly. He was in Trenton, New Jersey. He said, what I'm gonna do, because I was gonna go to him. He said, nah. He said, I'm gonna take a taxi. He said, call the girls and let them know I'm coming. He said, I'm gonna take a taxi. I'm gonna get them, bring them back to Trenton, and we gonna catch a flight in the morning. You know what I'm saying? He said, once we get on that flight, he said, I'm gonna send you a text. He said, you hop on the road to Chicago. And that's exactly how my kids got the fuck up out of Philly. Now, my plan was when I got to Chicago, I had to put my kids in school. I couldn't turn myself in and no shit like that until I made sure my kids was straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm a single mom. So, and this is another thing. Here's another thing. I'm gonna tell you about that part. I don't think. Listen, that plan went well. He got my kids. They caught a flight. I hopped on the road to Chicago. The dude I was dealing with, you know, he on the phone quiet, crying the whole time, this, that, and the third. His little life changing before his eyes. I'll tell y'all about that another time. And I'm getting text messages now with the news reports and shit saying that I'm wanted and all this other shit. Now this shit is starting to come in. You know what I'm saying? Now I really realize how real this shit is. Now, I gotta say something. When you're doing a motherfucking crime, if you cannot take the heat, you shouldn't be doing the shit. Here I am, a single mom with all my kids, and I take damn good care of my kids. I'm a grandmother now. You know what I'm saying? I took damn good care of my kids. Yet you got a bitch who don't even got custody of her motherfucking kids that came in and destroyed all my shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this shit is mind-boggling to me. Bitch, if you know you gonna always want to run your motherfucking mouth and you can't do no jail time, why the fuck is you committing crimes? Go work in Nordstrom's or Barney's or some shit like that was beautiful. This shit get ugly. And I hate that my life and my children's lives were transformed like that because of bitch. It just is what it is. However it go, when I get to Chicago, they get to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even see my kids like that because they was the police was at old addresses. They was around my kids' school. They was at my kids' grandparents' house and everything. I had to literally see my kids and like tell my kids to meet me at a Family Dollar. Y'all go in first, go in aisle 4, and I pull up, you know what I'm saying, hoodie on or some shit. Look, I'm a big girl. I'm a thick girl. I'm, you know what I'm saying, linebacker type. Burly bitch. It is what it is. I gotta come up in there all disguised down, skull cap and all this other type of shit. Just to go hug my motherfucking kids. I gotta meet my kids in the back of Pepe's and shit just to hug them and tell them I love them. Now, CPD was cool than a motherfucker up in my kids' school because they knew I was on the run. It wasn't no secret I was on the news and shit. They knew I was on the run and they knew my kids because my kids went there for a while. But the motherfuckers let me get my kids straight and they didn't bother me. They all like they ain't see my ass and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? All you motherfuckers ain't bad. I appreciate that. But that's how I got my kids up out of Philly. And this is going to conclude, you know what I'm saying, how I got indicted. Y'all be smooth.